I'll run that back. What's going on? My name is Drew. I'm part of the Black Label gang. I wanted to share a little bit more about who I am and what I collect and why I collect. So Pokemon is really the main card game that I collect, and primary reason for that is just the classic childhood nostalgia. So I grew up playing Pokemon, had tons of cards. I can still remember days of my parents coming home and surprising me with a pack, or my uncle showing up and surprising us all with Japanese packs one time. So just tons of good memories. I got back into the Pokemon hobby back in 2018, 2019. I've learned a lot throughout the process. I've been very proud of my grading skills that I've honed over the years. So, we started off just getting 9.5s and maybe an occasional 10, but over the years I've really learned from others and from my experience on how to really find those pristine cards. Chasing the Black Label has really been the high for me. I really enjoy going through tons of cards, finding that perfect one and submitting that. Where that really kind of started was I was trying to get my first Black Label, and it had been months and months and months, and I just could not get one. And I reached out to a couple collectors that had gotten some Black Labels and asked them for tips, and asked them if we could start a group chat on Instagram. And so just started with a couple of us, and we named it the Black Label Gang. And over the years, we've added more and more people, and so we've grown this little community of collectors that specifically just hunt Black Labels, whether it's Pokemon, sports cards, Vice, Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's just a bunch of us just sending cards. Do you think this will pass? Do you think these corners are good enough? Or what do you think about this new release? And we just love just shooting back and forth and chatting. So I brought 5 Black Labels with me, and we'll run through them. Starting off, wanted to show my Paldean Clodsire full art. Love this boy. I think this is just peak Pokemon design, and I'm just a big Clodsire enthusiast. So a funny card to a lot of people, but to me, one of my favorites. Next up, I wanted to show my Slowpoke illustration rare. This card is actually a personal favorite of mine because to me it looks like the streets in Japan that I walked around with my family. So it's really just like more of a memory card to me. So this Machop is just a common card, but this is the oldest Black Label that I've personally graded. So this is 23 years old at this point, and I personally pulled this card. And when I was going through the cards in my pack, I looked at this one and I knew it would be a Black Label. This next one was a pretty big one for me. This is the Space-Time Distortion. This came in Japanese quarter decks, and I opened about 12 of them to finally get one that was a Black Label contender. So I just kept buying quarter decks from Japan, opening them, and hoping and praying that we'd get a Black Label, and finally we did get one. So this is one that's gonna stay in my personal collection for a long time. Thought I'd save the best for last. This is my Altaria EX. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm a huge fan of the EX era, and this Altaria is currently my prized grail in my collection. So there's only one, this is the Pop 1, and I don't think there's gonna be many more. Getting that Black Label from any set from the EX era is huge, and this Altaria I just think is beautiful. Collecting the cards has been a way for me to really, we all had the cards as kids that we wanted, but we never got. And so now that I'm older, this is an opportunity for me to go after those cards that I really wanted and finally have them in my collection. I've enjoyed the cards, but really the highlight of the hobby has been the people I've met.